All right, welcome in to year 3, or I guess like 1.1.
2-5.
Yeah. Of the Empire Sports Rendezvous, featuring Champ Abernathy and
Trip. Something or other.
right. No need for you to know. Tom Triplehorn III.
We call him Trip.
Look,
Nobody knows his real name.
quite simply, it's like a Madonna almost. Like I just go by.
Just Trip. I don't know why you would tell anybody else
It's fair.
that your real name.
Like
was something.
anytime I say like hello, I'm Tom Triplehorn III, they don't.
What?
Right, but when I just say hello, I'm Trip.
Hey Trip, how's it going,
Right,
bud?
they get that. Right. Okay, so look, this is the first year that the Empire rolled over.
Thank goodness.
If you win the Empire this year, you're looking at $2,300.
That's a lot of fun.
Some of us would use that for a house payment or a down payment on a house.
Is that what you would do?
That's exactly what I would do.
I think you should probably pay off people that you owe money to.
I mean, Trip doesn't owe money to anybody. I don't. That's Skip. Skip. I mean, those of you that are familiar with the other shows we do, Skip owes money all over the nation. Well, really, countries.
The world.
International.
The worlds.
Right. Right.
I'd probably buy a Camaro.
Right. That would be a wise business move.
Mm-hmm. It'd be fun.
But needless to say, there's money to be had this year. $2,300 to the winner if they do in fact win the Empire.
And how do you do that, Trip?
You do that by winning your division, scoring the most total points over the course of the entire season, and of course winning the championship. Yep. Of course, Beats by Ray, newly named team, formerly Brady Gaga, has the opportunity to win the Empire just by winning the championship. So those are the two ways you do it. You go back to back, or you pull off the trifecta.
The Triple Crown.
Triple Crown.
So he won it last year, huh?
He did. Congrats to you, Beats by Ray, formerly Brady Gaga. Right. Defeated the Commish in the championship.
It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a team in it last year?
He did. He shockingly had a team. This year, based on the way the draft worked out, we have some really interesting divisions, some really interesting conferences, and frankly, I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
And how did everything break down? How did the divisions and conferences get formed?
Well,
how does that happen in this league?
We've got a system where, I don't know if you saw it,
it's in the bye rules.
We had a special show in which Skip, Trip, and Champ chose the draft spots, and then you personally had a choice as to where you went in the draft.
So they had the lottery pick,
Mm-hmm.
and then based on your pick number, you had to choose where you had to draft in the order.
Yep.
And the top 6 picks, whoever decided to be in those regions, or in the first conference, and whoever picked to be 7 through 12 in their pick in the draft, are in the nether regions.
Right, and that's how the playoffs play out. So 1 through 6 will play off against each other, and 7 through 12 will play off against each other to meet in the championship. We had a really interesting draft this year, to say the least.
We did.
No need to throw stones or, I guess, dirt on her grave, but Allie had a really rough go. We all understand this. There's no need to necessarily beat her for it.
Was it necessarily a bad thing? Or was she strategically drafting 12 wide receivers
Perhaps.
in the draft
Could have been.
to nullify everyone else's picks.
Right. Could have been. I don't know. I guess from my perspective, it seemed like a gift. So I would just say, Allie, thank you. And I suppose that you would say to us as a league, you're welcome.
I think she was saying, fuck you. I'm going to get that.
It just seemed to me like she was saying, you're welcome. That's just me.
Maybe. I just thought she was trying to mix things up with a different approach.
Sure.
And say, I will get that. And everyone else said, I'll never get that.
She got that.
She got that.
Allie, needless to say, thank you. Appreciate it.
Kudos.
Way to go a different way. What we're going to do here is we're going to go over the recap. We're going to talk about the draft, and then we'll take a break. We'll go over week 1 results, and then we'll do our playoff predicts and be done. We typically go pretty quick. There's no issues. There's no problems. I don't know if Champ's going to be able to see out of his goggles.
I can see.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
These are crystal clear, baby.
Okay, well, we'll see. It's pretty hot here right now. But, maybe we'll have to clean those guys up. Not sure. Here we go. So, the draft. Let's cover Popeye's Precious Pipe, who ended with the first pick in the draft after the choices were made. Rancho won the Empire in year 1. Performed the Triple Crown. Shouldn't have. Like, it was a miracle.
Yep.
How do you think he did this year?
So. Took Antonio Brown with his first overall pick.
Ballsy.
He's got great receivers. No, he doesn't.
I don't think he has
They're
great
awful.
Receivers.
Like, besides that, Pierre Garçon, Charles Johnson.
Right.
Wow. Awful.
You look at this team.
This is questionable at best.
Yeah. For having the first pick in the draft.
This is ugly.
Right. You got Kelsey. You got Kelsey in the mid-rounds. That really helped. Romo's that guy that nobody seems to want, but always does. He's always a top 6, 7, 8 quarterback. These running backs, though, I don't know if you're going to have a flex. Forsett, Gore, Morris, that's fine. But as the season goes on, maybe one of them gets hurt. And I know you don't have a flex with your receivers, so...
He's got a great kicker.
He does have a wonderful kicker.
And a great defense.
Right.
Besides that, I don't like this team at all.
Ranch, I don't know about depth. I really don't. A little skeptical. We'll see how it plays out.
Good luck to you, sir.
Right. I'm a huge faggot.
You are.
Right.
I've heard that about you.
With the I think.
Oh, that's a team name.
Right.
My bad.
Right.
And who is that?
That is Dusty Kuby, FedEx ground employee, Eagle River, Wisconsin.
Explains the faggotism.
Right. Exactly. Just doesn't seem to know what he's doing at all, does he?
He has one starting running back.
Right. Melvin Gordon.
Questionable. Has he proven himself?
No, he hasn't at all.
As a starter? This is like a Monte Ball situation.
Right, but
who also went first round last year?
They traded up for him. You have to believe. I honestly thought it was an LT situation. LT gets traded, or how did that work? The first pick by the Chargers gets traded to the Falcons, who then draft Michael Vick.
Yeah. Ooh.
And they end up taking LaDainian Tomlinson, who they really liked. Melvin, I don't know. Pass protection seems to be a concern.
And he is not the answer for that.
Running backs are a concern. Receiver is a concern. Seemingly, the only position that isn't a concern is tight end.
True.
Can Eifert and Jenkins,
he has 3 names. That's fun, right?
he does have 3 names. I don't know. On draft day, this team looked pretty scary. Pretty scary.
It still looks scary. Besides the fact that he got his tight ends involved, but we don't want to talk about week 1 yet.
We're trying not to, but I'm a dipshit and I do that. But, look, in this league, I think that running back is what matters. I don't know what you have here.
Wide receiver matters too. I just think that he went at tight end like it was a strength. Like, how did that turn out to be his best position is questionable. Why he would feel comfortable about this, I have no idea.
And we understand that you've developed a relationship with Dusty, and you don't want to, hurt him emotionally because you're looking to be friends with him. But I'm telling you, you can say it.
This is a bad fucking team.
Dusty, it's a bullshit team. You should understand that.
Sorry, bud.
Like, if tight end is your strength,
it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, you're in deep fucking shit. Next, we got Beats by Ray, formerly Brady Gaga, the champ.
What worries me is a team name change.
Right.
Like, why would you do that after a championship?
You don't do it.
No.
You don't do it. You don't fuck with a streak. This goes back to Kevin Costner in Bull Durham.
Right.
Whatever works, you just do that, right? If you have a streak because you're having sex, or you're not having sex, or you're wearing women's underwear, you do that, okay? And
And you mess with that.
Not only that, but you had the 3rd pick in the draft. And Beats, I think you kind of fucked it up, man.
Teddy Bridgewater is a great quarterback, right?
And listen, I'm all for drafting quarterback late. I am. I'm all for that.
But you gotta get some players before that.
Somebody.
You gotta get some players before that.
So we're looking at Amir Abdullah, who seems to be a starter in Detroit, or seems to be a guy that's going to put up points for
the most talented player on the team.
Perhaps. Now we're looking at Jamal Charles, Tevin Coleman, Gurley, Christian. You need things to happen. When you look at your running backs and you need things to happen, that's a scary scenario.
What's more scary is that he's looking at his receivers saying he needs the things to happen here too. That's what makes it more scary.
Literally terrifying.
Not only does he not have a for sure flex at running back, he doesn't have 2 starters at wide receiver.
No.
He's got 2 guys that are hurt. He's got 2 other guys that aren't even number 1s on their team.
Right. Which brings us to the tight end. Vernon Davis, Jimmy Graham, Jason Witten. So you're looking at flexing a tight end.
Yeah. This just reminds me of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Different league. In a different league where a guy literally drafted 2 tight ends and said, "Go fuck yourself, league." And then literally walked into the toilet bowl.
I could tell you where that guy ended up.
The toilet bowl.
He was 3-10 that year.
It was a rough year.
So, both of you guys, it's funny because we just get done talking about Dusty, and now here we are at the champ, and look, you're flexing tight ends. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. Skip has just gotten dressed, which leads us to believe
he's going out.
Are you sure, Skip?
You going out, bud? You're gonna leave the team here and just
Are you sure?
go party.
No, I'm not sure.
So what does that mean?
How are you gonna get downtown?
I
You gonna bring your car back?
got a cab coming.
You gonna bring your car back?
Yeah.
I hope that you're.
Like, this seems like a really bad move.
But let it be known. I mean, if indeed he does get a DUI, it was recorded here on the Sports Rendezvous.
You saw it here first.
You did. I mean, you saw the news before it happened. That shit doesn't exist. All right, moving on. All right, so next we have Schroeder.
Different approach. One we haven't seen before. Baffled.
I think we learned a lesson here this year. You know, if you can't make it to a draft, somehow figure out a way to have somebody draft for you.
Or if you set up a pre-draft order, know how it's going to turn out. Like,
Right.
do a mock draft with it.
And we certainly don't want to hammer you here. I mean, you know, like, Allie, you know, we know, the league knows. It was a tough go. Basically, I think what we're saying, we hope to see you at the draft next year. That's I think, the basis for what we need to say.
But drafting 12 wide receivers was a very strategic play,
Right.
and everyone else was dumbfounded.
Like, the draft room was just fucking going off
Shocked.
as it was happening.
Like, how do you deal with this? I mean, it was a hard
Right.
situation to be dealt in
Right.
as both the drafter and the draftee.
Right.
Where do you go? Where do you go?
It did create some issues. But I think Allie, you know, just next year, do what you can. Be in the room. I don't know what else to say there. So I think we move on to Muff.
A lot of running backs, or
Right.
wide
A
receivers.
lot of work. A lot of work needs to be done.
Or tight ends, or quarterbacks, or
Right.
got a couple tight ends in the draft.
Really, right. Right. I mean,
A lot of work to do. Waiver wire stuff.
Muff Dabber Bagaiba. One of the best names, certainly the best picture, I would argue. I thought, you know, this is a tandem. This is Shy and Walschlager. And Walschlager was at a softball tournament, left up to Shy. I thought Shy did a pretty decent job, considering his track record.
Probably Shy's best draft of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
Hands down, I have never seen this amount of balance
yeah,
on a team from Shy,
right.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he was sitting next to a seasoned pro, giving him some advice out the whole draft,
Right, right.
but
Who's that guy?
I don't know.
Oh,
No one knows.
they're not disclosing that?
No, not disclosed name,
Wow,
but
wow.
a good draft.
You know, I really was impressed. I mean, you know, Forte, like this shit about Forte, you're either good or you're not. I don't care if you're 29 fucking years old as a running back. I mean, Marshawn Lynch has been proving it. Frank Gore has been proving for years. If you can run, you can run. You know. So
I think you're looking at the wrong team.
No, I'm not. Oh, I'm looking at fucking Tom's team. Holy shit.
You love Tom's team.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Because I wasn't
But,
seeing the same things you were talking about.
Right, that's fair.
But running back, he's got Isaiah Crowell, Devontae Freeman, 2 potential starters,
Right.
Eddie Lacy, Lamar Miller, 2 for sure
Yeah.
starters.
You know,
And you got a potential flex there.
Right, right. Receiver, you know, you sew up Oakland. I don't know what that does for you, but Fitzgerald's been great for years.
Mari Cooper
Sammy
could be huge.
Yeah, he could be. Sammy
A lot
Watkins.
of targets. Gonna get a lot of targets.
Like, I don't know what the deal was with Sammy Watkins. I mean,
But we don't know what's gonna happen week 1.
Right.
Dwayne Allen, Matt Prater, Broncos.
It's a good draft. It's a good draft. Okay? That brings us to naked pull-ups. You know, okay, look at it. On paper, it's a good team.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it?
I think so. He's gonna, Dan, you're gonna struggle at flex here. Okay?
Yeah.
You got Le'Veon, Rashad, Doug Martin, Murray, Bishop Sankey, who had a, I mean, look, you've got guys, all right? You've got guys at receiver. Whether it's Macklin, Jordan, Kendall, you're going to
I don't
struggle.
like it. I don't like it.
I don't know.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't like it at all.
I just look at those running, okay, Le'Veon Bell.
Like,
starting
once
running back.
Le'Veon Bell comes back, he's going to have a flex at running back.
But look
Maybe.
at those, he's got 5 starting running backs there.
Doug Martin, what is he? What is he? Is he a starting running back?
I feel the same
Like,
way
is
about...
he legit Rashard Jennings?
I feel the
Is
same...
he a starting running
I
back?
feel the same way about Bishop Sankey.
Yeah.
But as of right now, today, he's got 5 starting running backs. I think the concern is receiver and tight end. Certainly, you know, Macklin and Matthews is an up-and-comer, and Kendall Wright has done it. I mean, Kendall Wright 2 years ago caught 100 balls. He caught 100 balls. Okay? Last year struggled a bit. But I just think this team has a little bit of potential.
Yeah. I see it. I see it.
You know, I mean, as far as flex at receiver, when the buys come, you know, who knows? But those
Do I feel crazy about this team? I don't.
and I don't blame you.
Like, a lot of risk, reward,
Sure.
potential.
Sure. As the season goes, here's what it is. As the season goes on, if these running backs are the starting running backs, I think this team has a lot.
Championship.
Yeah, a lot of potential. Receiver is questionable.
Get a lot of guys that are number 1s now and have a lot of people behind them.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I like it. Champ's a little skeptical. Let's. Oh, the strategist. The strategist. Look. Here's the bottom line. The strategist, while he's never now last year, 15-1 going into the playoffs.
Is that good?
It's pretty good.
That's good.
Just fucking died in the playoffs. Weibel has his own way of doing things. I mean, he always has, he probably always will. Last year, you and I, at this time, made fun of his team uncontrollably. Like, just fucking beat it down, right? I'll be the first to admit that. He goes 15-1. Gets in the playoffs.
I hate it again. I hate his team again.
I don't like
Right?
it either. I don't like it either.
And I guarantee, you see him, he talks about it, he loves it.
He gets
He
it.
loves his team.
He kn-
Because he knows fantasy football.
Right, he does. He does.
And he's smarter than I.
Yeah, and me as well. That's why we're sitting in these chairs and not playing the games ourselves.
Right?
But man, when you look at this roster,
No running back. 1 running back.
I don't know if there's even one. Is there?
He loves Stevie Johnson. I mean, deep down, he's a
Like
Bills
he wants to take him on.
lover.
You think so?
I think he is.
Like he watched Stevie as a Bill and he was like,
I like that guy a lot.
look at those receivers.
I like Eric Decker a lot. Late.
Yeah, it's fine.
But he
I mean, Gronk's
has
Gronk.
no number one receiver here.
You're going to need Gronk to do this every single week, aren't you?
Is he going to catch 3 touchdowns a week?
I think he has a chance. He has a chance to catch 20 touchdowns this year, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
Does he have a quarterback?
Gronk? I mean, he may have the best one of all time. I'm not sure.
Best of all time. Let's get out of here.
Well, look, you gotta. The problem with Weibel's teams, and maybe this is Weibel's gift, is he just starts the right guys every week.
Sure.
Is that it?
It has to be.
Because I look at this team and I think, how the fuck do you find any consistency on this roster?
Sure.
Yet somehow, Weibel, you always get it done. So I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not. I'm not going to tell you I hate this team, even though I do. Because you always seem to just make the right pick.
I hate this team so much.
I do, but you just seem to start the right guys when they need to be started. So I don't, maybe he is just that much wiser than we are.
Much that more wiser.
And
Catchphrase.
And we'll leave it at that.
Hashtag.
Hey Jay, coming in next. Now, Jason Krall, 2 years ago, should have won the Empire.
And fell apart.
Fell apart. Came in last year, had a decent season. Here we are.
Disappointing.
Disappointing year. He comes back hard.
I think he had a good draft this year. I think he's happy with it. Has a couple strong receivers. An okay couple running backs. Carlos Hyde, where the fuck did that come from? Nobody thought that was going to happen.
Look, you look at his running backs, he's got a flex. There's no doubt he's got a flex. And if he sits on Trey Mason and see what happens between Gurley and Mason and that whole thing, could be magical. I mean, he could have 4 running backs to choose from. Receiver, you pick up Julio in the first, and then you can kind of fucking mess around a little bit.
Or Daz goes down first week.
Right.
Like, did he see that for coming?
No.
Terrence Williams?
No. I mean, he's got some things going. Tight end's a little skeptical, but you can't go wrong with Drew Brees. It's a good squad. It's a good squad. May run into some flex issues if the running backs don't all pan out, but I like Hyde, I like McCoy, I like Murray. And again, with Trey, who's to say? Fred Jackson also might turn into, like a Danny Woodhead. But it's a good squad. High points, potentially. Potentially. First week. We'll see what happens. I don't know who Ball is. Who's Ball? Oh, it's fucking Pinky. God, what a mess.
Like, he loves balls.
Like,
so much.
Man, Pinky, do you love balls?
It makes it so awkward.
Jeez, you must be embarrassed.
Like, he makes his team named Balls.
It's actually a pretty good team. I mean, softballs.
Is it?
Softballs. Tom
Is it a
Brady.
good team? I mean, he's got 18 receivers that are number ones.
Yeah, he's got some good shit.
I mean, it was him and Allie drafting receivers in the first 5 rounds.
Right.
I mean, we got some really strong receivers. And unfortunately, you can only start 3.
Duke Johnson, Dion Lewis, Jonathan Stewart. Those are your running backs.
I hate the running backs.
I mean, it really is disgusting. And not only do you have Ben Roethlisberger, but you have Tom Brady. Like, I literally think this is a last place team. Like, there's no way this team makes the playoffs.
I'm not going to make my predict yet. But his receivers are strong. Nelson, Aguilar, AJ Green, Andre Johnson, Emmanuel Sanders. That's nice.
Yeah, what'd you just say when you said Dez? Did you say Dez?
I don't. He's dead. I think he died.
There are only 3 possible starting positions
Right?
at wide receiver.
That's the problem with this team.
And even so if that's the case, then your other guy, like your tight ends, are Zach Ertz and Ladarius Green. Those are your tight ends?
I don't like this team at all. I'm just trying to build the guy up.
Good.
Like, I have a hard time, like, shutting people down.
Right. Pinky, there's no way you make the playoffs.
But
Okay. Garrett. Coming in at the 9 hole. On paper, I think it's fairly solid. You look at Bradford, has a lot of potential. Andy Dalton could do
you're talking
some
about
things.
2 quarterbacks here?
Yeah. I mean, they're the same guy, all right? It's a spot start, but you got C.J. Anderson, LeGarrette Blount coming off suspension, Ellington, Chris Ivory, Woodhead, who
You think LeGarrette Blount is going to be a starter after week 2?
I don't think they're going to go after this fucking clown. I really don't. I mean, I don't even...
I think you got Chris Ivory and Andre Ellington. I mean, you're running back. The guys' running backs are weak. I mean, really, CJ is nice, but you've got 4 running backs after that are potential non-starters.
It's fair. It's a fair point.
Non-starters.
It's a fair point.
Wide receiver. Kelvin. Is Steve Smith still alive?
He is alive. The problem is that he has Joe Flacco throwing the football.
Joe Flacco.
Right.
Oh boy. Mike Evans hurt.
Yeah.
This receiving core is hurting.
I mean,
Like, gonna need some waiver wire work here.
perhaps.
But the shining deal here, you got Dan Bailey as your kicker.
He's a good man. Gives a lot
Garrett's Heroes has the best kicker in the league. I mean, to really score some points for him. And he's got the Carolina defense. Like, these are the 2 shining points of his team. We're just going to go on to the next team here.
Dan Bailey gives a lot back to the community.
I mean, didn't he start his own children's hospital?
He may have. Condoms for Cutler Foundation. Maybe the best name change in the league. I don't know if we're going to give that enough credit, but I think that's about as good as it gets, right?
It's nice.
Right.
The only problem is that his team is awful.
Right, because he's a Fondo.
Mhm.
Right. These Fondos really don't seem to grasp the concept of fantasy. Like, we've always been reluctant to give out draft strategies. I mean, as a community, like, nobody wants to give out their strategies. But if you're still showing up to the draft with a magazine,
That's 8 months old,
right,
where the predictions were literally from March.
like, probably a bad idea.
We need to change that around.
Right,
I mean, Al Gore invented this thing called the internet,
right,
where you can literally type anything you want into a computer,
Yep.
and it'll tell you live action
Yep.
who the best players are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's work on that. You just get a printer,
Right.
like, and just print this stuff out,
Right.
so you get some up-to-date data,
Mm-hmm.
and you work off that.
Yep.
Like, we don't need these old magazines that are from March. Like, let's work on this stuff.
It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. That said, so we got Matt Ryan, fine, whatever, inconsistent. Jeremy Hill, Ryan Matthews, Denard Robinson, T.J. Eldon. So you have 2 running backs there. You don't have a flex. I mean, can we agree on that?
No.
No flex.
We will not agree.
Oh, you think he has a flex?
No, I do not. Sorry, I
Wait.
apologize.
Wait.
Scratch that. We agree because Jonas Gray
Oh,
got cut by the Patriots.
right. So you thought he was...
A potential starter.
He's not.
No,
He's not.
he will be somewhere else next week.
Sure. Same thing here. We got Percy, DeAndre Hopkins, Ty Montgomery, who I don't even know who that is, Golden Tate, these are strong. That's a strong receiving core. But the problem is you can only flex one of them. Can you play a receiver at running back?
I don't think you can in this league, can you?
No, I don't think so.
You can start 3 receivers,
Yep.
2, and then a flex.
Mm-hmm.
So 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you got, bud.
Right. Tight end, fine, Martellus Bennett. We'll see how it continues. But otherwise,
Tough time,
Mike,
bud. Tough time.
you're a Fondo, Mike. It's in your blood, man. It's in your blood. And last, but certainly not least, Tommy Fondo, Mustache Motorboaters.
Brother of the last person who picked.
Mm-hmm. Tom, I truly do not understand, and I've always been very cautious, but why you continue, my only hope is that he's not watching this, because he probably won't.
No, he doesn't have enough time for that.
He's very busy. Tom, why you continue to play fantasy football just shocks me.
He's got literally 6 running backs who are backups. And not a single receiver.
Well, Edelman. Edelman's Wes Welker. He's gonna catch balls.
He's gonna die. Like, he's literally gonna break his hamstring.
Well, but you could say the same thing about Gronk. Like, it's him and Gronk. That's it. Right? LaFell's out.
For how long?
He's on the IR reserve list. So
I'm just saying that, like, if he gets that many passes, he will die.
He's gonna die.
He will die. And it'll be a sad day. Because that's your only starting wide receiver. That's
Tom,
going to give you more than 3 targets a week.
we understand that you came out of the 12 spot. Okay, right? You picked out of the 12 spot.
Sure.
That said, when it was chosen, he had the 5th choice and chose to go to the 12 spot.
Ballsy.
Right? Tom, you made your bed. Okay? And it's not like you didn't have opportunities here. Look, Matt Forte is a beast. He's going to be a beast. He is. He just is. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Arian Foster, when he comes back, sure. Marshall. Then you have an actual running back core that is maybe the best in the league. But say Arian comes back in week 6 or 7 or 8, you're already at fucking 6 losses.
Yeah. And let's say Marshawn gets hurt.
Right.
Like, what happens then?
You have no injury capability whatsoever.
Nope.
Tom, we're not saying this because we hate you as a person, even though we do.
But good try.
This was a really poorly drafted squad.
Good try.
And that's our draft analysis, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in a couple seconds.
Could take a short commercial break.
Mm-hmm. Northwest Finest Sandwich Hotline.
Is that a thing in this?
No. But we're going to do that. And then we're going to go over the week 1 results as well as our playoff predictions.
See you in a few.
Alright, so we're going to run down the results from week 1 as well as our playoff predictions. So we're going to start with Faggot versus Beats by Ray. Tight!
Like a tiger.
Tight!
Like a
Ball
tiger.
game. The champ comes out ahead by 1.3 points.
Thank you, Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, what the fuck?
How'd this happen, right? He literally started one wide receiver who got hurt week 1.
Right.
And still won. That shows you how weak this faggot team is.
Both these teams are bullshit. I think we
Yeah.
can just agree on that. Okay.
Agreed.
You know, like either one of you, whoever skated away, like you skated away. Alright? Fuck off Andy versus Rancho. I think Rancho was either first and second or second in total points for the week. Rancho, this team is fucking terrible. I don't, you know.
I mean, you played a garbage team. Like, sorry, Andy, fuck off Andy, but, I mean, she couldn't even manage a full squad.
Running backs get 0 points total. You know, there's nothing else to be said.
Is that good?
There's nothing else to be said.
That's not good.
Right? Muff versus Naked Pull-Ups. 107.8.
Whoa!
107.2.
Barn murder. Muff
The Muff.
pulls out the victory.
Aaron Rodgers? I mean, who do we give this victory to?
Gotta give the game ball to the Packers.
I mean, right?
Like, Rodgers, Lacey, doesn't matter.
Jesus.
Both those guys, like, won this game for this team.
Valiant effort, Daniel. I mean,
Good try, but you lost. You're awful
I don't know what to say.
as a person.
Right. Hey Jay, softballs. You know,
Ran into a buzzsaw, softballs.
look,
Like, there's nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do.
I mean, Carlos Hyde, Julio, what else is there to say? Your running backs are terrible.
Actually, they did pretty good for him.
For which one? Hey Jay?
For softballs.
Yeah, but they're
Like, for
terrible.
what they are.
They're terrible.
Like, let's build the guy up a little bit before you cut him down. And your team's bad.
Panky, this team is fucking terrible.
It's awful.
For a guy that texts the commission is like, I love this team. Ugh. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Good luck, bud.
Right. Mustache versus condoms. Another kind of 7 points. The
Yeah.
brothers. The brothers in a beatdown. That's not true.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but
a brother's
it's,
bash. A
it's
brother's
close.
bash.
Like, I mean, this was going either way from these two
You know,
degenerates.
to be fair, who thinks Peyton Manning's going to end up with 6.7 points? And Deshaun Jackson's going to get hurt and end up with nothing.
Who thinks DeAndre Hopkins is going to score 33 points a game?
Right. I mean, you look at this, it really could have gone either way because both these teams are fucking awful.
But we're just gonna move on.
Right. Strategist, Garrett's.
I mean, that was a victory from the start. It wasn't really a game.
I don't know, man.
There's just too much talent on fantasy to really think that Garrett's had a chance.
That's fair. That's fair. That goes completely against what you said in the recap.
But it was so funny.
Right.
I mean, both these teams are pretty awful.
Stupid bad. Stupid bad. I'm really excited to see, you know. All right. So we look at the playoff predicts. I mean, that's it. That's how fast it was. I mean, lots of these teams are pretty fucking embarrassing. So.
Which means that a lot of teams had great drafts.
Right.
A lot of spread out stuff. A lot of strong teams in this league, except for a few that are pretty awful.
You look at the top half. Are you capable of getting back to the? You don't care about getting back to the main page?
I'm gonna try.
You look at Precious, Pipe, Beats by Ray, I'm a huge faggot. You know, we didn't like any of these teams.
None of them.
Really. You know, I mean, Popeye had a big week. 152. It's a big week. Can he maintain it?
Bless you.
Right.
Based on who he's playing, I think he will.
You know,
Which is so bad.
I really feel like this division is a crapshoot. I just don't think anybody really
Define themselves as a winner.
I mean, like Ron, she had a big week, but I don't think that team is
Like, just take that pipe and shove it up your butthole.
right. Right. So we go to the Champagne and Beers division. We got the Muff, Naked Pull-Ups, and Fuck Off Andy. I don't think there's any question here. Certainly, Muff and Naked Pull-Ups make the playoffs. You know, as to what they'll do there, I don't know. You know, for a top six,
Weak. Very, very weak.
like what would you do with a top six pick team? You know? I just feel
If I drafted like these 6 teams, I'd probably just shoot myself and just call it a day.
like really kind of you know,
Like, we always talked about how the top 6 teams in the league had the best teams and yada yada.
I mean
But these are the worst 6 teams in the draft.
It's really bad.
Like, it came around strong on the second half.
I mean, Muff's okay. Muff had a pretty decent draft, I thought. It's just there are holes. There are holes in all of these teams. You look at the MAC division, the Ford Conference, you got Hey Jay, Strategists, and Softballs. You know, Hey Jay, Strategist, always perennial favorites. Softballs has put up a good run over the years. This year, I don't know if it's going to be so,
I
but
think it's those top 2 teams, Hey Jay and Strategist, coming
Sure.
out of this.
and then you know, the brothers versus the commish.
They're in the same division.
Yeah, the
I
brothers.
didn't realize the brothers were in
Right.
together.
Right. I don't think there's. I mean, the commish. If he doesn't come out of this division,
He should be embarrassed.
well, he should quit.
Like, he should just stop doing fantasy football.
Yeah. Altogether. Altogether.
I mean, he should move into a friend's
Right.
house
Right.
and just
Eat-
bleed to death
eat
by
their
slitting his throat.
Eat their cheese. You know.
Hmm.
Look, as far as playoff predicts, I don't know what to do because there's really no clearly best draft team. You look at week 1, you've got Hey Jay, you've got Rancho. You know, maybe that's what it is. Muff? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I guess if I had to pick, okay, so
You know, the crazy thing about week 1 is that everybody makes some huge, elaborate decision based on week 1.
right,
And it never comes to fruition.
right,
I mean, it's just hard not to
right.
see the weaknesses in some of these teams.
Now, you have to pick a team to come out of the top half. What are you doing? For me, it's naked pull-ups. He's without Le'Veon Bell. He's got an up-and-coming receiver in Jordan Matthews. Kendall Wright played well with Marcus Mariota. Tight end is certainly a sketchy position, but I don't know who else. I don't believe in Rancho's team. I just don't. I just don't.
I just have a hard time feeling that Muff Diver MacGyver is going to make the moves in the waiver wire to
Right.
stay strong.
Right.
Because he just has no devotion
Right.
to the league
Right.
or to his life
Right.
that's going to
I feel
help
like
him.
I feel like Beats had a rough draft. I feel like Faggot had a rough draft. I think it's going to come out of that high life division. Whether it's,
Mufford naked pull-ups.
I just believe that.
Yeah.
Bottom, you know, I mean, Hey Jay and the strategists are always good. Only two, and softball's played well. Only two of those can come out of there. One has to come out of the fucking Chevy division.
Like, will one of the Fondos finally step up?
I doubt it.
Like, will they?
I doubt it.
They have to,
I
right?
doubt it. I really do.
Like, in every single fantasy league these guys are in, one of them has to, by default, win something.
You know, okay, my predictions are this. Hey Jay, strategists come out of that MAC division. Obviously one of the brothers, and I can't imagine that Garrett doesn't come out of that fucking division as well. I think that we're looking at a Hey Jay pull-ups championship game.
I'm going to say that the motorboaters and the heroes
Wow. Okay.
come out. Hey Jay, fantasy strategists meet each other in a conglomerate of that conference. Muff. Ooh. I'm gonna say naked pulps and fuck off Andy. Come out of that division.
You're gonna give it to Allie.
Yep.
You think she's gonna
I think she's gonna build it on the waiver
she's
wire.
gonna make some moves.
Yep. I think it's going to be a waiver wire workup.
Are you just saying this because you want to have sex with Allie? Is that
No, I'm just gonna say that because Muff Diver
doesn't do anything?
doesn't understand how the waiver wire works.
Okay. That's fine.
I don't think he understands that you can actually pick up players during the season.
Okay.
And she does.
It's fine.
And then I'm gonna say Faggot and Pipe come out there
Because you want to hang out with Faggot?
because I think we're great friends.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Well, you really pushed me into a
I know. Sex.
shuttlecock there.
Sex with Allie.
Yeah, this
Hanging
is
out with
kind of
Faggot.
bullshit here.
Right. So what do you think?
I think Muff Diver MacGyver is gonna win it all. No, I'm the that pull-ups beats faggot. No, faggots beats blow. Hey Jay moves on versus Garrett's. Garrett's beats the faggot. The championship. That's what I think is going to happen.
He's full of shit.
You heard it here.
He's full of shit.
You heard it here.
He's full of shit.
First,
ladies and gentlemen.
on the Sports Rendezvous.
He's full of shit. You know, who's to say? And also, in a sick twist of fate, Champ, Skip, and Trip all live in the same home this year. So you may be looking at more sports rendezvous than you have in the past.
If you're only so lucky.
Right. We're not gonna promise anything, but it could end up being more than every quarter of the season. We'll see. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Trip,
I'm Champ.
and I forgot what we said at the end of this one.
Like us on Facebook. The Sport Rendezvous.